You know, I might just be the only guy in history who ended up with a fat six-figure insurance check and a handwritten sorry note from every neighbor on the block. All because these three pushy ladies figured my backyard dock was their free-for-all floating lounge. Yeah, talk about turning lemons into a luxury yacht. It wasn't like I planned to handle the most epic, wallet-draining, soggy smackdown to our HOA queen bee. But hey, when life throws you entitled busybodies, sometimes you discover you've got a knack for serving up justice with a side of physics. Stick with me here, and I'll spill the whole wild tale of how Karen and her sisters got a very public dunking in reality, complete with trespassing charges and a lesson in why you don't overload a vintage boat. And while you're kicking back, hit me in the comments with where you're tuning in from, because this karma train is one hell of a ride. It all kicked off when I snagged this cozy spot in Willow Creek, a quiet lakeside hood with those big shady maples and quirky birdhouse mailboxes. Nothing fancy, but man, that private dock sealed the deal, even if it meant scraping every last dime from my savings. As a structural engineer, grinding away 50 hours a week on load-bearing calcs and material stresses in some bland office tower, my escape was those lazy weekends out on Lake Evergreen, fiddling with my baby, a mint-condition 1967 Boston Whaler I'd restored myself. All 15 feet of shiny fiberglass with chrome accents that gleamed like new and a purring outboard that sounded like a contented cat. I named her Moonbeam, and her Coast Guard plate was crystal clear, max 4 folks or 550 pounds. No ifs, ands, or buts. I kept her polished brighter than my grandma's silverware because, after dealing with blueprints all day, that boat was my therapy, my slice of peace. For the first couple months, it was bliss. Misty mornings gliding across the water, neighbors waving like old pals. The kind of simple life that makes you think you finally got it figured out. Until Karen showed up. Karen ran the HOA like it was her personal kingdom, announcing her title in every chat as if she were the mayor of Entitlement Town, always decked out in those baggy designer yoga pants that screamed, "I paid too much for comfort." Her face pinched like she'd just bitten into a lemon. She rolled around in this oversized black Escalade, bullying her way down our skinny roads like she owned the asphalt. Our first run-in was over my little frog statue in the yard, a goofy hand-me-down from my aunt with a fishing hat on. Bam! Neon yellow citation slapped on my door, claiming it violated some mythical rule against whimsical wildlife decor. Me being me, I dug into the HOA bylaws I'd actually read before signing the deed. Fired off an email quoting the real regs, no height over 16 inches. My frog buddy measured a compliant 12, complete with a pick next to a ruler in her reply. "Eyes on you, buddy," I wrote. That set the vibe. She'd nitpick my recycling bins lingering curbside a minute past curfew or whine about the racket from my garage where I was just tweaking a bolt with a wrench. I'd counter with timestamp logs, the works, because my engineer's brain thrives on facts, evidence, turning her petty jabs into this ongoing paper trail I didn't know I'd need. But deep down, it bugged me. I'd busted my hump for this haven, and here was this power-tripping neighbor turning it into a battlefield over nonsense, all because she craved control like oxygen, especially when her sisters rolled in to amp up the drama. Enter Sharon and Linda, Karen's bigger, brasher clones. Where Karen was all tense and scheming, they were these booming presences, strutting like the world owed them a favor, no filter on their arrogance. They pulled up one scorching August day in that Escalade, spilling out with their loud laughs echoing across the water. I was down on the dock, buffing Moonbeam's dash, when they paused, eyeing her like she was public property. "Look at that tiny tub," Sharon drawled, voice dripping sarcasm. "Karen, does he ever share the fun?" Linda chimed in without glancing my way. "Bet not, some folks hoard like it's their throne." Karen, arms crossed, shot me this glare that could have curdled cream, muttering, "He's stingy, doesn't get sharing in a community." I'd poured my heart and 2 years' worth of overtime into that boat. It was mine, not some neighborhood toy. That sharing line hit like a warning bell, revealing their twisted view where my hard-earned stuff was just waiting for their claim, fueled by Karen's HOA grip and their family pack mentality that turned envy into entitlement. Old Man Joe, the grizzled vet next door who'd outlasted 4 HOA tyrants, sidled over later with his trademark pipe. Met the harpies, huh? When those sisters visit, Karen goes full dictator mode, showing off. Lock up tight, kid, they've got a history of borrowing what ain't theirs. His words lingered, mixing with my growing unease because I'd seen the jealousy in their stares, the way they sized up Moonbeam like predators. It wasn't just annoyance anymore, it felt personal, like they resented my quiet joy in a world they couldn't dominate. Things escalated from land spats to dock wars. Karen slapped me with bogus notices, like demanding my bumpers be mint green for harmony, when the rules said zilch about it, or banning boat cleaning over phony runoff fears, all laser targeted at my rituals, her way of chipping away at my sanctuary because she couldn't stand someone not bending to her whims. I'd fire back with research, EPA specs, product breakdowns, CCNG the whole board, and watch her emergency rules vanish quietly. But each win just fueled her fire, her need to rule turning vicious. Joe warned me again one evening as I tightened a cleat. Heard M plotting Linda's big birthday bash coming, and Karen promised a lake party. Watch your back. She's got that, what's yours is mine vibe from way back. Even tried claiming the park gazebo for family exclusives. It clicked, their greed wasn't random. It stemmed from Karen's HOA power high, amplified by sibling rivalry to impress, and my independence stuck in her craw like a thorn. Paranoia kicked in, but smartly, I rigged up a top-notch camera system, hidden, with night vision beaming straight to the cloud. Snapped detailed pics of Moonbeam's pristine state, that capacity plate front and center, and started video logs before trips, treating it like engineering protocol, but really, it was armor against the storm I sensed brewing. Then came the fake charter clause she mailed, claiming docks were shared access, pure fabrication to justify her grab. I hit the county office, unearthed the real 1970 amendment locking private docks as owner only, emailed it board-wide, and her silence screamed defeat, or desperation. The hook sank deep when the HOA rag she lorded over broadcast my Chicago conference trip, framed as, watch his place, folks, but really a neon sign screaming, empty target. I ran my checks before takeoff. Lock solid, camera rolling, quick vid of Moonbeam sparkling at dawn, August 12, 7 a.m., all good, and jetted off to sessions on fracture mechanics, miles from the fray. Mid-lecture on stress loads, my phone lit up, motion alerts. There they were on live feed, Karen, Sharon, Linda, marching my lawn like conquerors, cooler in tow, gift bags, a massive sheet cake that screamed excess. At the gate, Karen whipped out bolt cutters she'd stashed. Snip, lock gone, and they piled aboard, heaving that 70 pounds cooler, the cake, the loot, then themselves. Sharon first, boat dipping hard, Linda flopping in, water lapping the edges, Karen last, smug as sin. Quick math in my head, 3 of M, north of 600 pounds easy, plus gear, way over 550. As the engine sputtered to life, they chugged off, waving mockingly at my empty house. My heart pounded, helpless rage, while I downloaded it all, called Joe. They stole her, man, I said. His gravelly reply, seeing M wobble out there, physics gonna bite, son. Sheriff's call hit like ice, your whalers swamped mid-lake. 3 ladies fished out, wet and mad, claiming permission and defects. I kept cool. I'm in Chicago. No permission given. Got video of the break-in. Flight home was fury-fueled, planning timelines, footage backups. Insurance claim opened with the agent chuckling over the slam dunk. Dawn arrival, tape everywhere, salvage crew with Moonbeam's wreckage, hull cracked, seams burst from the overload, my gut twisting at the sight. Joe met me with coffee. Spectacle. Couldn't they hit Center Lake? Cake-fueled selfies, then she nosedived, water pouring in. Screams echoed, flailing like drowned rats till patrol hauled M. Then the Escalade screeched up, trio storming over in robes, looking like soggy walruses, Karen jabbing, "Your junk heap nearly killed us. Sue you bankrupt, negligence." Sharon, "Permission, yeah, you mumbled it." Linda, "Fell apart on its own." I sipped slow, locked eyes. "Hope the cake was worth it, ladies." Locked gate ring a bell? Or my Chicago trip? Deputy approached as I added, "Got 45 minutes of HD glory, bolt cutters, theft, that 550 pounds plate you ignored. Math don't lie." Karen blanched, "You're bluffing." I handed the drive. "Watch and weep, officer." It unraveled like dominoes. Insurance paid full, then sued him for every cent plus tow fees. Cops billed 5 figures for the rescue farce, tacking on theft and vandalism charges. Their lawsuit threats fizzled when lawyers saw the tape. HOA blowout was golden. I projected the footage in a packed hall, gasps rippling as cutters flashed, then the plate slide. 550 pounds, folks, physics isn't optional. Karen bolted mid-booze, ousted unanimously. Her empire crumbled. They sold the ride, the house, vanished in debt. Neighborhood exhaled, rules purged of her nonsense. My payout bought a sleek 20-foot crest, capacity 1,200 pounds, with Joe's engraved plaque, Moonbeam Award for Overload Justice. Now, gliding on calm waters, I ponder their dryland parties, smirking at the upgrade they funded, the peace they unwittingly gifted. But here's the twist that nags: was I too ruthless, stacking evidence like a trap, or just defending what's mine in a world where entitlement runs rampant? Makes you wonder about community lines, right? When does neighborly turn toxic? Drop your take below. Ever dealt with an HOA nightmare? Who's really at fault in these turf wars, the rule breakers or the rigid enforcers? Share your stories. Hit like if justice tastes sweet and subscribe for more real-life wins. Let's chat it out.